I'm going to go over how to do the product rule. So the product rule really isn't as scary as it might look when you're first looking at it. But what is important is that you're paying attention to all the pieces. Um, there's a lot of places to lose things, and that's the hardly hardest part of the product rule. So the product rule is going to be first. So when that comes, I'm going to take the first as is. So I'm going to write down the first product. Okay, so this is my first. So I've got my first product here, and then I have my second product here. So my first product, first product times the derivative of the second. So now I'm going to take the derivative of the second. Okay, so then I'm going to get negative 5x to the fourth, and that's it, because that's going to become a 0. So that's the derivative of the second. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the second. So I'm going to write the second down as is times the derivative of the first, my yellow one now. So now I'm going to get 8x to the 3 because I brought the 4 down. 4 times 2 is 8, subtracted 1, and then a negative 1 because the 1 there also goes away. So you'll notice here that really you're doing two pairs. You're doing the original and the derivative of the other, and then reversing it. Addition and multiplication are commutative. The order you do it in doesn't really matter. It's whatever order you memorize those steps are, which is, and I have it as the derivative of the first. So I have it the first times the derivative of the second, then plus the second times the derivative of the first. And there's fancy ways you can write that as a formula, but really you just got to remember you've got two pieces. You have one thing multiplied by another. You want a first and you want a second, and you're really just doing each version of it. You can put these two together, one of each, these two together, one of each. Now at this point we have to clean up. This is just going to be a lot of foiling. So I'm going to FOIL everything here, and I'm going to get negative 10x to the 8th plus, because two negatives, 5x to the 5th minus 5x to the 4th minus 8x to the 8th minus 1. Okay, so no, I got a FOIL here. So what I get, I told you have to pay attention. Okay, so this times this plus 8x to the 3rd plus x to the 5th, because negative 1, and then minus 1. Okay. I don't know what that number is, so let's go back here and look. I had 10x to the 8th. Okay. Now we're going to go look. I have those two. So I have negative 18x to the 8th. And I do really and truthfully cross that as I go because you got way too many different pieces going. Let's see here. Plus 6x to the 5th. Those are those. And then I have only 1x to the 4th, so that's pretty easy. 1x to the 3rd and a negative 1. So this is my answer. One final thought. There is another way to do this. You could have FOILed out the original problem and then simply did it one step at a time. And that is an option. It really depends on what the problem is. Sometimes that's easier. Usually I find the product rule is the easier choice, but again, it depends, and it depends on what you're comfortable with. So really in this case, it was clean up first or clean up second. You decide which one you did. We still ended up doing a lot of foiling there at the end.